Welcome to the Insurance Producers Podcast, where we bring you the top personalized producers, insurance agents, and industry partners, giving you at least 3 takeaways to 10x your production and build your multi-million-dollar revenue books. So sit back, relax, and become inspired by the success stories and strategies of the world's top insurance minds. Let's roll. Hey, agency producers. My name is Cyrus Jaffrey, your host at Insurance Producers Podcast. And I have my brother and my co-founder here, Bobby Jaffrey. What's happening, buddy?
What's going on?
So we've been doing kind of a lot of research on how to do podcasts. Is it interview style? Is it just us giving some information to the producers, things maybe that we do at our office that could help you guys, things we've learned from other people. So this is mostly going to be a solo episode with just me and Bobby, talking about the state of insurance, how things are going, and hopefully give you guys some bullet points on what's happening, how to tackle it. Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a background on Cyrus Jaffrey and kind of our world. We were a captive agency for 6 years at State Farm, and we opened up our independent agency 4 years ago, and didn't know anything about independent side whatsoever, man. Did some research, got some direct contracts, and went into the world, got going right about COVID time. And been rocking and rolling. So our agency as a whole, we have 4 different verticals. We had three employees when we left State Farm 4 years ago. Now we have about 100 people in our organization. We're at about 42 to 45 million, somewhere in there, in premium. So we've grown really fast, especially the last 2 years. Different joint ventures and organic agency that we run, tech thing that we're implementing. So we've got a lot going on. So we just wanted to kind of share some stuff about the state of insurance, give you guys some things we're doing, and hopefully it can help you guys. So as you guys all know, carriers are a little bit behind on what's been happening. Carriers are taking a hit. A lot of carriers stop writing business, right? This is the time, man, when the strongs survive. This is the time where you as producers, as agency owners, as agency partners, this is for you to wake up, man. Be strong, do things that no other people are doing, and be the alpha. Because a lot of people are giving up, man. Our industry is obviously a little bit older, right? So we've got average age, not exactly sure, 55 years old or whatever. And a lot of those guys are getting closer to retirement. A lot of the younger people are coming in using technology, using carrier relationships and things like that to make things easier. So I wanted to share 6 things as far as new business goes that an agency should be doing, a producer should be doing today. It's a completely different ballgame. This is the toughest time to be in the insurance industry, but this is the best time to be in the insurance industry as well. Because if you are strong, if you are the alpha, there's so much opportunity, man. There's so much opportunity. So one thing that my father-in-law taught me, 30 years in the business, he's a State Farm agent. He said, Cyrus, when rates go up, your paycheck goes up. But when that happens, man, this is your time to baby your clients a lot more. Now, we never baby our clients. Nobody walks into our office we're as automated as possible as far as an agency goes, because for us to handle 10,000 clients in 3 years that we've built, we needed to build a lot of automation and all of that stuff. So anyway, 6 things. I think number 1 on new business right now is ease of use. And I'll go through these and I'll get a producers. I'm not a producer. I'm just an agency owner. But Bobby is our top producer, agency owner as well. And consistently writes 30,000, 40,000 a week. So we're going to get a person here that has got a great point of view in some of these things and things that we've both implemented to our producers that Bobby runs as well. There's about 12 to 15 of them that he handles. So we'll get his point of view as well. So number 1 on new business, man, ease of use. If you're not using technology to your advantage, I think you're losing. I think if it's still taking you 2 to 4 hours to get back to a client with a quote, I think you have lost that client, because agencies like us, other agencies that I know, man, they're getting that done in 20 minutes. And the faster you can build that relationship today, the faster that you can educate them, and the faster that you can use technology to your advantage, I think you're going to be ahead of the game, right? So ease of use is by far the number one biggest thing for us at our agency to make the partner that are sending us the referrals life easier, and then make our life easier here as well. Because, man, our agencies, we're going to do 30 to 40,000 quotes. Now, to do that with like really 8 producers, that's a lot of work, man, that these guys are doing if they were doing it the old school way. So if you're a producer right now, man, and you're just it's taking you 2 to 4 hours, you got to figure out what that technology is. Whether you're the agency owner, where you are the producer, go do some research, man. There's so many good things out there right now, that you're able to utilize to be able to make your life easier. So let me give you a couple of pointers and a couple of things that we use, and our workflow as far as new business goes. And I'm curious on you guys' thoughts. You guys can email me, DM me, whatever, or Bobby as well. We'll give you guys our information if you guys need more feedback, or give us some feedback. Say, hey, Cyrus, have you thought of this? Right? Because listen, this is the time we all got to stick together, man. Us producers, as agency owners, as people that are in the insurance industry, this is the time we all got to stick together. There's no reason there should be little huts here where there's 4 or 5 people here. We all got to come together and make the process easier for the independent channel, for us to go where we want to go, right? We got a mountain to climb, and we got to do it together. So number one thing for us, man, when a client calls us, is going to be getting just a couple of pieces of information, and to get as less information as possible, so the client doesn't say, I don't have my VIN number, I don't have my driver's license number, I just want a home quote. Like, what are you talking about? I don't need to give you all that information, right? So, but as Bobby knows, man, if you have that information already, you don't have to ask for that, for them to say, okay, I'll call you back with that information. And now you potentially lost a client, because if another agency says, hey, I've already pulled your driver's license number, we're just with your first name, last name, date of birth, and address of your old address if you're buying a house, and I've already got all that information, I've already got your VIN numbers, I've already got all that information, it's going to make it so much easier for the client to do shop around. Because I think the number one reason a lot of captive agents are telling their clients is just, it's really hard to go shop around, so you might as well go with me, right? And if you're a captive agent right now, that's your point. That's what you're saying. It's like, hey, don't go to the independents. They don't know 20 different carriers, right? A lot of captive agents listen to this podcast. I've been a captive for 6 years, so I understand your point of view. That's what I would hone in on if I was you guys right now, saying, hey, 20 carriers, they're not the best educated. And then also on top of it, they're not going to be the best for you, because I've got the best, blah, 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 all that stuff that you guys are using. But on the independent channel, if you've got the technology thing to pull the driver's license, VIN number. So we use Canopy Connect, number one, right? So every person that calls us, we get their Canopy Connect, which is basically their statefarm.com account or farmers.com and all that stuff. So, and Bobby will dig a little bit deeper into that. But our number one thing is we're going to get Canopy Connect, because here's the reason. If you've got a Canopy Connect information for that client, man, your closing percentage is going to go up by at least 30%. Just for having Canopy Connect, because now you pretty much have deductibles, what price do they pay, coverages, and all that stuff, right? Education is so much easier when you basically have all that information versus blind going into it, giving them things that, guys, they might have 50, 100. And our agency, we only sell 250, 500. But if they're comparing, apples to oranges, you're not going to win most of the time. It's a very competitive environment. So use that as ammo. Canopy Connect is number one. And then number two for us is Quotamation. So Quotamation, as you guys can see, I'm wearing the shirt. Quotamation, you go in and plug in Cyrus Jaffrey, date of birth, address, pulls all the vehicles in my household, pulls all the VIN numbers for my household, pulls all the information for my house, square footage, 2-story building, basement's finished, everything that you are gonna, as a producer, have to go to two, three, 4 different places to gather that information from the client. Dude, guys, let me tell you, 99% of people don't know their VIN numbers. 60% of people don't know their driver's license numbers. Honestly, 90% of people don't know what they have, what coverages they have, what deductibles they have. Give me the cheapest and I'm going to move on, right? You can't educate people if you don't have that information with you. So Canopy Connect, number one, Quotamation, number two, because Quotamation is going to pull drivers, vehicles, all that stuff for me. And it's super, super easy. Within 30 to 45 seconds, you have a quote if you use technology to your advantage, okay? And then last but not least, basically having all that data go to carriers, right? So you're able to just directly go from maybe Quotamation to Canopy Connect to boom, inside of the carrier, binding a policy. And then you're using that 20 to 30 minutes to build a connection with the client instead of doing all the other things of gathering information. That's the worst part about shopping for a consumer is all the information they have to give you. That's why they don't shop. That's why they don't come to the independent channel. But if you have all that information already, you're confirming that information. Within 5 minutes, you have all the data points. Within another 15 to 20 minutes, you're able to close a deal. It's the consumer's buying experience is so much better for the independent channel, and it's going to help all of us. Okay. So I'm going to ask Bobby real quick right now, since he's the producer here. So Bobby, person calls in, wants a quote, and I know you use Canopy Connect, Quotamation, and all that stuff. What are you doing from start to finish real quick?
Yeah, I think it depends. So you said if they call.
Yeah, they called in. Bobby, hey, I heard you guys from this person. I'm buying a house. Or, hey, my rates have gone up. I'm shopping around. What are you doing?
Well, the first thing I always do actually is, so whoever the referral source is, I'll kind of, just hype them up a little bit. Just like, oh yeah, you're working with this person. Oh, awesome. They're a great team or great person to work with. I've been working with them for this amount of time and I'm glad you reached out. And really the way I start is just tell them like, we could do it two ways. I can ask you all this information, or I can just, get a picture of your driver's license, send you a Canopy link, and you just text me the new address and we're done. And I just go in and do all of my research, all the quoting, pull the data, everything. It eliminates them from having to do so much. And let's just face it, people are lazy today. So if you just have all the information in front of you, like I said, the closing ratio goes up by a ridiculous amount.
Do you, Mr. Klein, do you want the easier way or the harder way for us to do this? And this is why a lot of people sell only homeowners insurance. A lot of people that work with lenders and real estate agents, they're like, we don't want to give you the vehicle information. I don't have time. We were just talking to an agency, $700,000 to $800,000 a month in premium they were writing yesterday. And I was like, you guys are really doing a lot of homes. Could you, and the reason, one of the biggest reasons, and we do that too, I think we do about 1 million, 1.2 a month in new business premium on the personal line side. And a lot of the times, the reason we're doing that versus maybe a $700,000 or $800,000 is maybe because we have all that information and we're doing a lot of multi-lining. The auto is 60% of my revenue. Auto is 60% of his revenue as a producer. So why would you not want to do that? Well, they're saying, well, the consumer doesn't want to give it to me. They close in 15 days. Just do the home for now. When you have all the information, all the data, all the VIN numbers, there is no we'll do it later. You have Canopy Connect. You know exactly what they pay for autos. You're going to do a multi-line quote on it, and then boom. Even if they don't pull the trigger for now, you need to get that information so you have a quote to them anyways, because that in itself is going to give you a higher conversion ratio. So ease of use, number one, Canopy Connect, pull all the data, get all the VIN numbers, vehicles, all that stuff. Use Quotamation to be able to do that for you. So you're not, and go to quotamation.com or get a demo or something. Go to Canopy Connect, get a demo. I know Risk Advisor is another one that has some form stuff. He's a friend of ours, David Watson. Use whoever. You don't have to use Quotamation. You don't have to use Canopy Connect, but find other things that works for you as a producer. For us, this is what works, right? And I'm biased, obviously, because I started Quotamation. I'm a founder of Quotamation. I'm biased in my product, obviously, but it's helped us go from 600,000-700,000 to 1.2 million in new business premium in this environment today. So I'm sure it's going to help you guys as well. Number two is dig deeper. This is not the time, guys, to say, hey, here's a quote from Nationwide. Well, you can't get a quote from Nationwide right now. Here's a quote from NatGen or Progressive or Travelers. This is not that time, guys. This is not 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We're like, boom, boom, boom. Nationwide, in our state at least, man, we were writing 300,000 probably just with Nationwide a month. We just grew our book, man, with Nationwide. But because it was fast, they were buying market share, right? Boom, boom, boom. Those days are gone, man. You got to dig deeper. If you're not doing 6 to 7 carrier quotes, man, and think about it, if you're not using technology, you can't do six. The reason you're not doing 6 or 7 and digging deeper is because you're spending too much time gathering information up front. If that information process, I would call it the shittiest part of the insurance time, right? Is just the quoting and all the gathering of the information. If that's done in a minute, guys, that gives you a lot of time to dig deeper in this time, to go into all the carriers. National General for us, man, is knocking it out of the park. Obviously, Encompass, Safeco and Travelers is coming back around. Progressive Home and Auto is becoming really, really good for us, right? Auto owners, man, they're killing it for us. So if you're not digging deeper, a lot of our producers, man, and we're lazy people. When I was a producer, I haven't written a policy 3, 4 years. I'm not a producer anymore, but it was easy. I wrote all Nationwide, because I come from a captive. I almost ran it as a captive. And now that captive is gone. We can't write another Nationwide policy probably for another 6 months. And that was our number one. So what are you going to do? Right? You got to dig deeper, man. You got to go to 6, 7, 8 carriers, right? But you can't do that if you're not using number one, which is the technology to get you there.
I will say it also gives you more time to build rapport with that client, makes them feel a little bit more comfortable. They trust you more if you're spending more time on the phone and, like you said, just digging deeper and just kind of getting a whole synopsis of what they have going on in their life, because it might just make sense to put their auto somewhere in their home somewhere else instead of just bundling with one company. So that's the digging deeper, like you said.
Absolutely, man. Dig deeper, because instead of gathering information, guys, you're not building a connection. What's your VIN number? What's your date of birth? What's your driver's license? You're not. Hey, Mr. Client, like, hey, because you obviously maybe they've done some research, or they golf, or you've asked them that question. Hey, how are you shooting these days? How are things going? Oh, I'm a Champions. I'm a member of Champions. I take people all the time. Hey, I'm over at Champions. The greens are looking really good. Or hey, you have kids. You do this, that, right? What are the kids into? Swimming, pool, all that stuff, guys. The number way to build a relationship. I've got 3 kids, 6, 4, and 2. When people talk about me, cool. Talk about my brothers, cool. My mom, my dad, my sister, whatever. When people know that about me, that's cool. But when they talk about my kids, man, that's a different connection, man. Like, I'm brought in. I'm into the conversation when I'm talking about my kids. And Bobby would tell you this. If a person calls me who's selling it to me, and they know that what's important to me is my kids, and they dig deeper, what's my daughter Sophia's into? Oh, what's Jonah into? What's Mateo into? Man, I'm gonna get into it. That's how you build a connection, is finding between the two. Is it sports? Is it kids? Is it whatever? It's the daughters in cheerleading. Like, if you can have a connection through kids, man, that's where you can really bring in people, and they can let their guards off, and you can really build it deeper. So, but you can't do that if you don't use technology to your advantage. I would say number 3 would be education, guys. If there's any time that the people need to know about insurance, is right now. People are blown away that their rates have gone up by 45%, and it's not their fault. I'm here to tell you, it's not their fault. It's your fault. It's my fault. It's his fault. It's our fault, because we don't educate our clients about the storms, about the loss ratios, about the 5 hail situations we've had in the state of Nebraska in the last year, or your state, or whatever, right? What's been happening since COVID has happened? Cost of labor, cars parts have gone up so much, right? Those things we don't tell our clients. We don't educate them about the state of insurance. They just say, like, I haven't gotten in an accident, Cyrus. Why has my rates with your agency gone up 40%? Mr. Client, let me tell you, because I've got all that information, right? Carriers have really good one-pagers that tells you all these increases. And if you're not educating your clients, man, right up front, or when you're remarketing people, you're just shopping them around, man, you're going to have to shop them around every year. And that's not a lot of fun. Shopping around is not fun. So you got to educate. You got to keep them with that carrier. Otherwise, man, you're going to be circling, and you're not going to be writing a lot of new business. So education is number 3, man. If you must educate people more than ever in our industry right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Number 4 is going to be, don't be salesy. And that goes into the education piece, right? So honestly, I have never sold a policy and never, even at State Farm. State Farm, I was more of a salesperson, but I've developed more. I used to sell at State Farm, but I mean, I don't sell anymore. I do a lot of demos with Quotamation, and I just educate people on why they should use it, and I let them make a decision. There is no reason for you to send them one thing and follow up 20 different times. If your use of use wasn't good, if you didn't educate them about the industry and about your agency and what makes you different, I think if you put all your cards out there and just educate the client, here's we tell this to our team all the time. Mr. Client, please go get a State Farm quote, American Family quote. If they said they were going to, obviously we don't want them to. Go get those, send them over to me. And if that's the best option for you, I'd be the first person to tell you to go with State Farm, go with American Family, because we work for the client. We educate you on what you should get. And if that's going to be with a different carrier, then that's going to be with a different carrier because you just built yourself trust. And in this industry, they will come to you. One of my mottos has always been, you don't have to be with me right now, but you will be with our agency in the next 3 years because something is going to happen and you're going to build that trust with me. And I know for a fact our agency is the best for you versus any other carrier right now.
Yeah, 100%. I think you hit it on the head. I would say, like, for me, I can't tell you how many times I'll have conversations with my clients where they're like, okay, yeah, I got quotes from you, but I'm still waiting on my USAA guy to give me a quote. Or I've already got another quote. It's a little bit lower, but I'm waiting on another one also. And that's where it comes in, and you just have to be that advisor. You talk about risk every day, so you have to just be like, okay, go ahead and get that quote from USAA. What I want you to do is, once you get that, come back to me. What I want to make sure is that you're in the best spot possible. I'll be the first one to tell you USAA is the best, even if they have a 2% Windhill deductible. I'll tell you that
you got a $10,000 deductible, yeah, Mr. Client, and they will never tell you that, but we will educate you.
But we'll let you know and be like, hey, if that's what's best for you, go ahead, go right ahead. I just want to make sure you're in a good spot. And I can't tell you how many cases I've won or deals I've won just based off that fact. They come back, hey, this is my USA quote. Can you tell me what's the difference? And it's a 2% deductible. Oh, okay. I like your option. Let's go with it. That's the things that's where you go in and you just have to be that person. You have to be a resource for them, an advisor, and just kind of guide them a little bit rather than trying to sell them.
You're a risk advisor. We call the producer on this channel, obviously, because a lot of you guys are team members, producers, agency owners, but because you're producing insurance, we're risk advisors. We're not there. It's funny, guys. We still have clients call us all the time that have Geico just to ask us questions. They have State Farm, but they ask us questions. They have American Family, like, hey, Cyrus, I know you told me to go there, but I've got this really quick question for your team. And my team will answer that question for them. And it's just funny that happens because that's just how we operate, man. You're not going to win them all. We understand that, right? But you got to do what's right for the client, educate them, and don't be too salesy. Just don't, man. I would highly recommend you to build the relationship, have all the cards out there, and have them make an educated decision because you're not going to get a ton of referrals, man, if you're salesy. You might close a deal because you got the best rate, but long-term, I think you're going to lose. We got to cut this in about 5 minutes. So let's go to number 5 real quick. Be the outlier, guys. This is not the time to stay away and hide from your clients. This is really not the time. You got to be in front of your referral partners. You got to be in front of your clients. Last 2 to 3 weeks, man, I was in front of about 100 real estate agents. Just got up on stage because we have this relationship with a lot of them. I was like, guys, this is the worst time in insurance ever. This is why everybody's rates, your clients' rates have gone up, and the mortgage lenders were there as well. And here's what we do to make us different. We're going to educate the client. We're going to tell them what's going on because we're not going to be the people that are going to stay back and hide. In this time, if you're hiding, you are doing the worst thing for your agency, and if you're a producer, for yourself, because you got to stand up, man. You got this. The dark times are the times that's going to make you who you are and make you as successful than ever before. But these are the times when you're dealing with adversity, when you're in the dark times, man. If you're going to hide, that tells people a lot more about you than standing up saying, "Yep, your rate went up by 60%. Let me see what I can do. If I can do anything, I'd be the first one to tell you, and our team will go to work for you." So I can't tell you this is the time to stand up and educate people. Be the outlier, because a lot of agents are hiding, and we ain't about to hide. We're about to be front face, man, right there.
100%.
And then last but not least, you've got ammo in the back of your pocket, man. An example is, what your state rates are, right? What rate filings that have happened. It's not just your I think when you educate clients, say, listen, man, like Farmers took an 18% increase and American Family took a 17% increase. State Farm took a 10% increase. So did ours. Nationwide, our carrier Frick took 60% increase, right? Travelers took, Safeco just doubled, 40% increase, right? Just having that aim to say, listen, this is happening in the whole insurance industry. Having a couple of pieces of information in your back pocket, we call Bobby back pocket Bobby. I think if you don't have some of that stuff in your hands to let the clients know kind of what's going on, it goes into the education piece of it as well. But if you're not doing some of these things, man, I think you're going to be at a very, very disadvantage. I would tell you in our state, this is different for other states. I know it's very hard. We used to write, our average premium was about $3,300, Bobby, right? For a household. Mm-hmm. It's close to 5,000. So like in our office, like to be a member, a team member of ours, like a minimum is $12,000. If you're not writing $12,000 in premium a week, like you're just not going to be a part of our organization, honestly. But it used to be where they had to write 3 to 4 clients. Now they only have to write 2 to 3 clients to get to the benchmark as a producer. Yeah. So as a producer, man, I know you have to do a little bit more work, but this should be the time where you're going to make the most money possible being in the industry.
100%. Oh, yeah. That's where you got to really hone in on that multi-line in and getting everything across the board for your clients. I mean, that's where you're going to have the most success, I think.
Yeah. And Bobby, I just looked at his numbers. That what kind of he has done, pretty close to a million, 1.1 million in 6 months. And I would tell you, man, this is a producer that, produces a couple million. You could probably write 1.9 million this year by himself, and leading our organization as well, 12 producers inside of it. So if this guy can do all these things, the ease of use, using the technology, educating the clients, and he's also the face of our organization at Jaffrey Insurance. So he's hanging out with all the referral partners, being in front of them, taking them gift baskets, telling them about the state of insurance. I'm doing the same thing. Yesterday, I golfed with 2 of our top referral partners, and then a real estate agent that we really want to get into our arsenal, doing some of those things to be in front of them, guide them, teach them, and all those things, man. Another person is doing that, and they're going to come in and they're going to take those clients from you, man. So this is a time to stand up, do all the things. If you guys have any questions for us, again, I'm Cyrus Jaffrey. My email is cyrus@teamcyrus.com. My phone number 402-213-9890. My personal cell, text me, call me, email me, cyrus@teamcyrus.com. Would love to just hash things, talk, see how things are going. If you need any help from us, we would love to do that as well. We breed personalized, man. That's what we do best. So, and then Bobby is Bobby@jaffreyinsurance.com, JAFFERY, insurance.com, BOBBY. And man, reach out to him, reach out to us if you have any questions. And we're going to be doing a lot of these solo about the state of insurance and give you some feedback on some of the things we're doing. I hope it helps you. If it does, guys, check out Quotamation, check out Canopy Connect, check out a bunch of different things. Check out Risk Advisors, another one, our friends over there, a bunch of different ones out there, man. Make your life easier, okay? Hey, go sell some shit.